in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent. that keeps us. I'm here and I'm fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear I weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it in a sense, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Good evening there and welcome to our latest Elite FPL podcast previewing all things Game Week 37. The three amigos are back in town and I'm joined by my good friends Steve-O and Jason. How are we tonight, chaps?
Hello Dan, hello Jason, hello everybody in chat.
Doing great, thank you.
Yes.
Doing great.
Good. Who have we got in chat tonight, Jason? Have we got any of the regular faces so far?
Yeah, we seem to have a few of the regular faces. We've got Sultan Syed, who was the first one in chat that I saw. Actually, I think he was in chat waiting for us to go live. So welcome, Sultan. We've got Yassine Klausch is in chat. Adam Humphreys, welcome. Adam, welcome back to the chat. Nishal is in chat. Cowie76 says hi, guys. And Aman Dylan. So yeah, a lot of the usual faces in chat at the moment. We're here to discuss Game Week 37, not double Game Week 37 as I had originally put in the title. Thank you for pointing that one out, Yassine. So yeah, let's fire away.
Yeah, so obviously we're going to be talking about our own teams ahead of this game week. We're going to be predicting the scores, talking about the players to get in, the players to get out. We've had some interesting questions from our community through social media, @Elite FPL, Instagram and Twitter. Feel free to connect with us on those social media platforms. If you've not already done so, please do it now. So we're going to go straight over to the fixtures and our main man Steve-O is going to take us through the game. Steve-O, how are you feeling ahead of this game week, mate?
Well, we'll get onto that later because we all know the predicament I'm in. I'm 100 points behind Jason. I'm about 75 points ahead of third place in our mini league, so I can do what the hell I want this particular game week. So yeah, I'm not really that confident. I don't think there's many games which really stick out to me and say, yeah, there's a perfect captain. But we'll get onto that as we're going through all this. As everybody knows, we're pretty good at predictions, me and Dan. Although last week, ironically, I did really badly, and Jason and Block FPL, who was a guest of ours, did okay. Block came out on top by, simply put, by getting closest to the Liverpool score. He predicted 4-0 and 5-0, but that aside. So what I've done a bit differently for this week is that obviously the three of us are going to be predicting. I've gone back to the history, everybody, which you'll all be pleased to know, just to give an idea of what history suggesting the average score will be for the representative matches. Also, I'm probably going to put some money on the predictions that I make this game. So for this game week and next game week, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and really see if I can win money on the correct scores that I personally predict. Because over the past several weeks, I've done really, really well. And if I'd have put money on it, I could have made quite a bit of money. So this week, I'm actually going to put £1 per scoreline that I predict and see what happens. Although, if it goes anything by last week, I only got one completely bang on the money. But I don't know. I'll see how I go with it all. But yeah, for everybody in chat, just for a bit of fun, by all means, text in your predictions. Jason will let us know what you guys are thinking regarding the specific games that we're going to be going through. And it all, I mean, you said about it being not being a double game week, but it bloody feels like one, because there are just matches all over the place this particular game week. We've got a game on Friday, we've got 2 matches on Saturday evening, we've got 2 games on Sunday afternoon at 2, a game at 4:30 with Arsenal and Brighton, and then on Monday evening at 8 o'clock. So yeah, it just seems like loads of games across this whole bank holiday. It's a bank holiday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bank holiday, yeah.
Yeah, so here we go. We'll kick off with Everton versus my team, Burnley. Everton, of course, in really, really good form at the moment. It's a Friday night kickoff, and the history is going with a 2-1 victory to Everton. The last time these two played, it ended in that disastrous 5-1 defeat. I think that was on Boxing Day, wasn't it, Dan? The 5-1 battering. Right. Yeah. I think it's going to be a close game, this one. I was thinking 1-0, 2-0 to Everton. I mean, I could do what Football 365 do and take the mick out of my own predictions, where if I actually thought my predictions on Burnley came true, we'd probably end up bottom of the table. But I think Everton are going to do us. I think it's going to be... I'm going to go with the history. I'm going to go 2-1 to Everton, Dan.
Yeah, Everton have done quite well defensively of recent. I think, you know, they've sort of turned their season around somewhat. So I'm going to go for 2-0 to Everton. And we had a contributor in chat mentioned Sigurdsson as a bit of a dark horse last time, so that could be an interesting player to take a punt on.
Yeah,
Jason.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna think this is gonna be quite a close game. I think both teams are set up well defensively, and I think Everton will edge it with a 1-0 win. Good shout with Sigurdsson. Lloyd AJ in chat is actually saying that Burnley will win this game. So he's obviously got his thoughts with Burnley there. So could definitely pull something out of the hat. Obviously they've been getting some great results of late. But I'm going to go with a 1-0 to Everton. Very, very low scoring game.
I know there's a lot of I know this isn't until next week, I'm fully aware of that, but there's a lot of Arsenal fans I work with, and I'm actually quite confident we may beat Arsenal because we've got literally nothing to play for. This game, we've got nothing to play for, and sometimes I find with us, when we just let the shackles off, it's just like, you know, we can express ourselves a bit more, and actually maybe that a victory to us may happen. I mean, Everton losing, I mean, admittedly it was at Craven Cottage, but they lost to Fulham. Was it 2-0, Dan? 1-0, 2-0? So
2-0, Babel scored.
That's it, yeah. So you never know. Yeah, I completely agree. But, you know, we could be all day chatting about the potential outcomes. But on to the next game where it's Bournemouth versus Spurs. FPL Booner contacted us and he said that Son has a really good history against Bournemouth. He is bang on the money there. He's in the last 3 or 4 fixtures, Son has got 5 goals. Now, he was somebody that I was potentially taking out of the team, but now I'm like, whoa, Steve, you've seen what he's done against Bournemouth. Back off and maybe reassess your transfer things. Last time these played each other, it was 5-0 to Tottenham. The history's going 4-0. I'm not as confident as that big scoreline. There's something about this specific match where I'm thinking actually Bournemouth may take advantage of Spurs' depleted team. The fact that Spurs coming off a European match, my understanding is that their results have not been great at all. And do you know what? Bournemouth in recent times have been really, really good. I don't want to say 2-1 again, but I am gonna do it. I'm going 2-1 to Bournemouth, Dan, surprisingly.
Wow. Yeah, I watched Tottenham Ajax last night, and I've got to say Ajax are just such an amazing team to watch. Played really well. But it's difficult.
Well, I saw the highlights of the match, and I know this isn't a Champions League review, but just to ask your opinion on the game. What happened with Ajax's goal? Because everybody just seemed to stop. Did they just assume that the player was offside?
I think so, yeah, because there was a VAR call on the goal. And it's like, once this whole thing of the players celebrated, and then it's like, oh, it's going to VAR. And I'm just like, oh, come on. But it wasn't offside. I think it's just Ajax, the way they play in these like triangles, knock it around. And in the first half, they just completely dominated Spurs. Spurs come back in the second half. Sissoko looked lively. But without Kane and Son, it's going to be difficult in a game like that. So I think Spurs are going to be focused on the second leg. And I think this game... But having said that, Tottenham do have a good record against Bournemouth. So I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to edge 2-1 to Tottenham. And I reckon I'm going to regret taking Spurs players out of my team, but we'll see what happens.
Do you think that there could actually be a bit of rotation for Spurs with the fact they're playing Ajax next week?
Yeah, I do, because let's be honest, Spurs have pretty much got top four signed, sealed and delivered. So next week, obviously Son will be back for that game. He was suspended last night. Don't want to be risking any injuries in this game, really, because they've done the business in the Premier League. They lost to West Ham last week as well. So they've just got to... Basically, that game away to Ajax is probably the biggest game for Tottenham in the last, I don't know, like 30 years or whatever. Let's face it, maybe 50 years, So we've got to go all out for that game, really. And Ajax, it's just an amazing team, but be interesting. But yeah, I just think Spurs, with their record against Bournemouth, the history always seems to come through. So 2-1 to Spurs, fortunately.
Going to go with 3-1 to Spurs. I think there's going to be more goals. I don't rate Bournemouth's defence at all, and I'm hoping that Moura can repay my faith on him. I won't be surprised if I will be ended up disappointed for the third game week in a row, though. So my transfers will probably be the removal of Lacazette from my team. And the removal of Cathcart from my team, and the upgrade to Robertson and to Rashford. Even though Arsenal got Brighton, I just don't trust. I just can't trust Arsenal at the moment. I mean, I've already got Leno in, so I'm gonna try a different space. I know that United aren't full of frills at the moment, but with Rashford being in training today, I'm hoping that I will be paying attention to the. We're not talking about United yet, but I do think Spurs will probably do something. So yeah, 3-1 to Spurs and Moura to score 2. I hope.
Well,
I've got a couple of comments in chat as well. I just want to say we're going to say now, can't get rid of Lacazette now. Just can't get rid of Lacazette now. Just keep it until the end. Says Lloyd. I'm thinking to get rid of him, but if you want to keep him, then yeah, he's got Brighton. I mean, you could do something against Brighton. Any thoughts about how any thoughts about Son now that Spurs have to win at Amsterdam? Yeah, we just discussed that. He's obviously at risk of rotation. FPL Hitman's back in chat. Welcome back to our stream, FPL Hitman. We've got the Daily Llama in chat. Dan doesn't even trust Arsenal. No, he doesn't. Paul Kinsella in chat saying I would get rid of Lacazette. Yeah, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. It was such a disappointing transfer because of obviously, the fixtures and yeah, it was just. I don't regret doing it because I had a good reason to do it, but I just regret how it's turned out really. But anyway, moving on to West Ham versus Southampton at the London Stadium.
Yeah, some interesting little bit of stats. An interesting stat here that in the last 6 fixtures, this has only happened twice at West Ham's ground. Both times ending 3-0, but to West Ham and Southampton. So both teams have each won 3-0 in the last 6. The last 2 times they played at the West Ham ground, which is a bit bizarre. But the history is actually on West Ham's side. It was going 3-1. Doesn't bode well for my triple up on Southampton defenders, but 3-1 to West Ham. And I think that Antonio's in a bit of form. You mentioned him a minute ago. And again, Southampton, another team. I just don't think they've got anything to play for anymore. I think there's going to be some goals, and I think I'm going to go 2. God, I'm going to do. This is a hat trick of 2-1s for me. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 to West Ham, Dan.
I think West Ham have been playing really well recently. Obviously beat Spurs. Nice to mention that again. Played really well at Old Trafford. They've picked things up recently. Antonio's been in good form. Anderson's picked up a bit of form as well. Southampton are safe now, so maybe the manager will experiment a bit with the team, thinking ahead for next season. So I think West Ham are going to carry this good form. There's going to be a lot of goals in this game. I think it's going to be 3-2 to West Ham.
Come on.
Well, I'm going to go with a measly 1-0 to West Ham. Fabianski clean sheet, a rare Fabianski clean sheet to anyone that owns him.
I'm just looking at West Ham's. You mentioned doing really well against Spurs and United. Do you think West Ham are just a team that likes to play the bigger clubs and get up for it? Because their matches versus Everton at home, they lost 2-0. They lost 2-0 to Chelsea. And then here we are. Where is it? West Ham losing 2-1 to United, like I said. They drew 2-2 with Leicester.
I know what you mean. They do put on more of a performance, it seems, against top six. Don't necessarily get the results that they want, but they do really up their game. When I've watched them anyway, they do seem to kind of get themselves psyched up. But yeah,
you know what? I'm actually going to reverse my score prediction going on that. I'm going to go 2-1 to Southampton.
Okay.
Yes, we can do that, David.
Right.
I'm in charge. We can do what we want.
Okay. No, I think West Ham, like you say, they upped the game. They drew with Chelsea earlier in the season. Only lost 1-0 away to Man City. Played really well. But no, I just feel like that win against Tottenham will really lift them up, and yeah, they'll edge out Southampton. But we'll have to wait and see.
Now then, on to the next team in which, everybody's expecting Jimenez, Jota to score a hat-trick each against Fulham. It isn't going to happen. Wolves can't seem to play against these absolutely awful teams. The last time it ended 1-1 at Craven Cottage. The history's going high-scoring 3-2 to Wolves. I think Wolves will edge this. I think it's going to be really tight, though. I'm going to go 1-0 to Wolves, Dan.
Yeah, like Fulham have just, ever since they got relegated, they've become really tight at the back. They got 3 clean sheets. I got my man Babel in last week. He got the goods. They just edged out Cardiff. Cardiff had some good chances in the last 10 minutes. And like I say, Wolves have been, really brilliant for assets this season. Like you were saying about FPL player of the season, for me, it's going to Jimenez for the value that he's produced all season. It's just a fantastic striker. I think Wolves will want to end the season at home on a high, and I'm going to go 2-0 to Wolves.
4-2. 4-2.
Wow.
Goals galore, yeah. 6-goal thriller.
4-2 to Wolves, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and I'd be interested in getting Jota in, but I just can't really squeeze him in at the moment, my plans. I do admire Jota. I think he's a great player.
Yeah, he's quality.
Now on to a game which actually does mean something. It's Cardiff that are still not relegated up against Crystal Palace, who are just on the beach. Crystal Palace's away record is phenomenal. I think they're 6th in the away league table. And it ended 0-0 the last time these two played. The history's going with a 2-1 Crystal Palace victory. I'm loving the statistic about Van Aanholt. Always scores against a team he then relegates. And what? I think Crystal Palace are gonna relegate Cardiff here. Well, actually, they won't mathematically relegate them because I think Arsenal are going to beat Brighton. But that aside, I'm going to go with Crystal Palace to win 2-0.
Yeah, Cardiff have done well this season considering how long they've kept it going, because they had a really tough start to the season. They put up a really good fight, but I think Crystal Palace's away form's good. Zaha could be an interesting one. Milivojevic, I can't say his name right, but yeah, you know the guy I mean, the penalty king, the differential in midfield there. He could be one as well to look at. But yeah, I think Palace will do Cardiff. I think it will be 3-1 to Palace.
I know we're talking about this, but Daily Lama said about having Babel as a differential. I know that you've got him in your team for that Wolves game. It could be a nice little differential for you over the teams above you. But yeah, going back to Cardiff Palace, I couldn't agree more. I think Palace are going to win this game. Cardiff they lack teeth and they're not great. So yeah, I can see Palace scoring a couple at least. I'm going to go 2-0 to Palace, the same as you, Steve-O.
2-0. Right then, so on to, from a real life perspective, Liverpool needing to win this game. From my perspective, it's a case of, could I go differential in captaincy with Salah or Mane? Last time these two men ended 4-0 at Anfield. Salah's recent history against Newcastle, he scored 2 goals. Mane's only scored 1. This is the last 3 games, admittedly. History's not on Liverpool's side at Newcastle, mainly at St James's Park. I completely forgot the name.
Yeah.
It's 1-1. It's pretty tight games. If it was at Anfield, it's a different story. At Newcastle's ground, it's tight, and I think it still will be tight. Although I do find it really ironic that Liverpool are playing Rafa Benitez and Man City are playing Brendan Rodgers, and each one of them 2 managers are going to want to do their team, Liverpool, a favour. I think Liverpool are going to just come through this. I'm going to go, it seems we're repeating every single result. I'm going to go 2-0 to Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool obviously playing Barcelona tonight. Massive game. Bobby Firmino not starting the game. Mane through the centre, Salah playing. So massive game tonight for Liverpool, but another massive game against Newcastle. Newcastle have been good at home this season. Benitez is such an excellent manager. But it's going to be interesting for Benitez to think, hold on a minute, if we get a result against Liverpool, they're going to win the league. So it's just going to be, I just wonder what's going on in Rafa's head. But I think Liverpool's quality is going to come through. It'll be a tight game, but it will be 1-0 to Liverpool, and Mane will get the winner. Very
Jason,
specific.
Yeah.
Before you predict, do you want to reveal? I say reveal. Do you want to tell the audience what the team is? The Liverpool team is against Barcelona tonight.
Yeah, of course. So Dan just briefly mentioned it there. I'll just get it up on my screen. But yes.
The main talking point, of course, is no Firmino.
Yeah, no Firmino. But yeah, it's a pretty, I would say it's a slightly defensive lineup, because they've gone with a midfield of Milner, Keita. Right, I'll start with the back. So Alisson in goal, no surprise there. Joe Gomez, no Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Oh no, Trent, I've just got it up here now. Yeah.
Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Milner, Fabinho, Keita, Salah, Mane, Wijnaldum. So, yeah, it's going to be...
Firmino's on the bench.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think they're going to get absolutely destroyed, to be fair. I think they're going to be absolutely destroyed tonight. That Barcelona team at home are just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Hello, FPL Boone. How you doing? Hello, Mick. But yeah, if you disagree with me, chat, let me know in chat. But I do think they're going to get... pretty pummeled. I think saying they've got like Van Dijk, so Van Dijk could possibly save them from a humiliation, but I do think two goals for Barcelona. It depends on how well this back four of Gomez, Matip, Robertson, Van Dijk really perform against, because this is the best team I think in the world, Barcelona at the moment. And
I think Liverpool are going to score. I think it's going to be as we're doing the predictions, I think it's going to be 2-1 to Barcelona, but I think Liverpool will score tonight.
I'll go 3-1 then. 3-1 to Barcelona, and I think it's going to be a really tough ask. What are you, Steve-O?
Yeah, the history suggests like a very tight, low-scoring game. I think Liverpool have got a really good record versus Barcelona, I believe. My understanding is.
Yeah, because the last time they played them was 1974. Anyway, no.
I think it's going to be tight, and I think something like 1-0 Barcelona, 2-1, 2-0 Barca, something like that.
Right.
But yeah, to get the away goal over the new camp, yeah, it's going to be very, very tough indeed, I think. But what do you think of the Newcastle game, Jason?
Yeah, I think this has got potential to be a bit of an upset. I'm going to go against the grain on this one. I'm going to go with a 2-1 to Newcastle. And you can all laugh, you can all smile, but I got a feeling. I know it's Rafa, and I can't see him turning around and just like kicking this game out because it's Liverpool.
You say 2-1
to Newcastle, yeah. You can all, I'm just thinking like I've got a gut feeling that it could be a spoiler.
When we come on to the Leicester game, Man City, actually, it wouldn't surprise me if, for example, if Newcastle beat Liverpool, like you're saying, and then Leicester, who have actually got a very good record against City in recent times, did City. Literally go to the very last minute.
Well, we're moving on to that, but I think Man City, the way that Man City plays straight into the hands of Jamie Vardy. Like he loves high defensive lines, and Laporte and company they play on the halfway line when City's got possession, and like I can easily see him getting played in behind that defense. I mean, Laporte saved City last game week a couple of times, and obviously Ederson coming off his line quickly because they are vulnerable on the counter attack. Man City, they really are, and Jamie Vardy, he lives and breathes counter attack. That's what he's all about, getting in behind the defenders. So it wouldn't surprise me. So anyway, yeah. Moving on to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge versus Watford. This game, many people going to have players in this game. Maybe people going to have Hazard. Maybe. I don't think Foster. Deulofeu. Yeah.
Deulofeu, Foster, but I think Chelsea, depending on what happens in Europe, but their home record is sublime. Okay, admittedly they drew 2-2 with us, which was an absolute shock result, but I think actually, yeah, now thinking about it, that was after Europe, and history is suggesting goals galore with 4-2 to Chelsea. The last time these played, it was 2-1 to Chelsea. Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 to Chelsea, and Hazard actually has a bit like Son versus Bournemouth. Has got some decent returns versus Watford, and this could be his last game for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So I'm going to go 3-1 to Chelsea, Dan.
That's music to my ears because I brought him in tonight. So I took out Eriksen, and I thought, well, I'll reveal one of my transfers. So I bought Hazard in. I've been against Hazard all. Yeah, like my position in the league, I'm just like, there's nothing really to play for. So apart from rank and pride, and finishing above Dale Bellamy would be nice as well. But it's his last game at Stamford Bridge. Got good form against the so-called smaller teams. So yeah, just brought him in. But going along with that, I'm going to go 3-1 to Chelsea in this match. That's my prediction.
Back to copying Steve, Dan. Jason.
I think this is going to be another shocker. I think Chelsea are going to be on a stinker. I think Watford are going to edge it. I think there's goals for both teams. I do see Chelsea scoring, but I see Watford scoring one more. I'm going to go 2-1 to Watford. So Chelsea 1, Watford 2 at Stamford Bridge. I just think Watford have got the punch. I think to penetrate the Chelsea defence. So it wouldn't surprise me. And I think and FPL Boona agrees with me as well. I didn't copy your Boona, by the way.
On to the next game, where when I was going through the history, I was like, oh yeah, this was the game where I'm sure I brought in Lindelof, thinking that he'd get me a clean sheet, and they conceded in the last minute or whatever happened, I can't remember. But the point being is that they conceded against Huddersfield, and it ended 3-1 to United. History's going a comfortable 2-0 victory to United. This is a game where a lot of people are talking like Rashford, Pogba, Luke Shaw. I think, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if, I know a certain big YouTuber is talking about Alexis Sanchez.
Oh, God.
If it was someone like that did really, really well versus Huddersfield, I think that despite United's problems over the last few weeks, I think United should come through this. I think they will concede though, and I think it's going to be this really edgy, horrible 2-1 victory to United just to get a victory over the line for Solskjaer. Dan, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, United have still got stuff to play for to try and, you know, hope that Chelsea and Arsenal slip up and get into the top four. Let's obviously hope that doesn't happen. But yes, United got something to play for. Huddersfield got battered by Liverpool last week, as many people would have expected. Huddersfield did beat United last season at home, but that was last season. I think United would just do a professional job. I think they'll win 2-0. And yeah, it'd be just interesting to see how many people bring in Pogba. Fixtures over form or form over fixtures.
I've been not monitoring football news actually today, really, because I've been working. Literally, work's been so busy. But on the ticker below us, it just said that
I've just seen it. Yeah,
just Lukaku could be out for the remainder of the season. Sources. Does anyone in chat know about that? Because that's interesting. Because this ticker's fed from ESPN. So if ESPN have got some information on Lukaku being out, it'd be interesting to know. Obviously, makes Rashford more of a sure transfer really for me. But yeah, Daily Llama's in chat saying 4-0 to United. Booner's saying 1-0 to United. Gasman saying 1-0. Pogba's a must, says Michael Svedin. I don't trust Pogba. I really don't. FPL Booner's saying that there's rumours going around 2 days ago that about Lukaku being out. Okay. But we got. I just want to say actually, Lama said a couple of comments ago. He said about going back to the Liverpool game, about the tonight's game in the Champions League, about players playing against their ex teams, Suarez
and Coutinho.
Yeah, and Coutinho. I mean, it could be.
Will they celebrate?
Wow, that you know, yeah, it seems to happen in the Champions League. Remember that ill-fated even in Real Madrid, United, Ronaldo. Yeah, he punished us. He punished us, didn't he? He punished us bad. So, yeah.
But he never played United.
Hey? Say again?
He never played United.
Who didn't?
Ronaldo.
Cristiano.
Oh, you mean that? Oh,
Cristiano. Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Sorry, I was thinking about the Brazilian
the original, the OG.
I was going way back.
Apparently a hamstring injury, says Danny Lama. Okay, I'll keep close attention to the press conferences again. So yeah, moving on. So we were talking about Huddersfield United. Now, where did we get to? Were you asking my prediction?
Yes.
I think this is a game which most people, even Huddersfield fans, would probably expect United to probably win if they really search their souls. I don't think it's going to be a convincing victory. I think it's probably 1 or 2 goals, and maybe De Gea can keep a clean sheet. So yeah, I'm going to go with the United clean sheet on this one. So if you're thinking of bringing in Shaw or some other United defender, then I think you'll be all right with that, especially for the fixtures ahead. And yeah, Rashford, come on, Rashford, get in some, get some goals, to cap off his season, really, because he's been pretty barren lately, hasn't he, Rashford? I checked his goals. He's not scored much at all or assisted much at all in the last 10 games. Can't remember off the top of my head. I think he's had 1 goal or something. But yeah, 2-0 United, 2-0.
Now then, on to Dan's team, Arsenal. They really do need to pick up, because this top 4 is just going to slowly passing them by. And they should win here, Dan. Brighton are just going to do what they did against Tottenham, but 2 banks of 4. I think that Arsenal will get through this. I think it's going to be an absolute dire game, though. I'm going to go 2-0 to Arsenal, Dan. The history's going 2-1 to Arsenal. It's been quite tight games with Brighton. Some open, admittedly, at the Amex. More over the last 6 fixtures. There's been quite a lot of games at the Amex where it's ended a couple of 3-2s, 2-1s to Brighton. So the last time these two played, it ended 1-1.
Yes.
I think Arsenal will just get through this 2-0. Just.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Valencia tomorrow. That's going to be a really tough game against Valencia. I saw them play United in Champions League this season. Really good team. I think, to be honest with you, they should just go for the Europa now. Just go for Europa, because in the league, like obviously I didn't do the last few podcasts. It's just in a week, losing 3 games, conceding 9 goals. They might rest and rotate a little bit. Maybe they just go for the Europa, but I think we'll just get over the line. But I think we'll concede, which is worrying because we've got Leno. But yeah, I think 2-1 to the Gunners. But yeah, it's all gone wrong, and I think it's mainly down to squad depth, really. Come to this point in the season.
But the thing is, you can rely on save points for Leno.
Yeah, well, that was it against Leicester, like you said. Like, we got battered 3-0, but Leno still played really well. He actually, he's let in 3 goals, but he's not done anything wrong. He's played well, and oh man, I can't wait for the season to be over. Actually,
yeah,
but it could all change. It could all change. Could beat Valencia tomorrow. Beat.
In a weird way, it's you probably feel the similar sort of way I feel about United, because it's like I mean, okay, slightly different circumstances, but the players for Arsenal do seem to be kind of down in tools and not showing the fight and the spirit, and kind of similar sort of scenario at United. Obviously, slightly different reasons. I think it's really frustrating being a United fan. It's probably really frustrating being an Arsenal fan at the moment. Arsenal United just don't seem to want to go for top 4 at the moment. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a game that on paper Arsenal should win. But Brighton, they've shown that they can defend, and it all depends on what Arsenal turns up. It really, really does. If they can get an early goal, I think Arsenal can get 2, maybe 3 goals. But if it goes into the second half, 50, 60 minutes, no goal, I think the game could just fizzle out and it end up being a 0-0. It really is a toss of the coin for me. It's either going to be 3-1 to Arsenal or 0-0. It's so really weird. I'm hoping that Arsenal have the fight in them, but even though I'm transferring out Lacazette, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get rid of him. He's going to score a bloody hat-trick, guaranteed. I
just want to say that. Yeah, go on. No, sorry. Your prediction.
Lama says 2-0 Brighton. Gasman says 2-1 Arsenal. Boona says 2-0 Brighton. Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go 1-1. Sod it. I'm gonna go in the middle.
No, all I was gonna say is that I think Denis Suarez is the worst loan signing Arsenal ever made. It's just been an absolute disaster. Because we did our prediction, we did our reflection.
He hasn't had a chance, dude.
He's played and he's not. He came on to sub against Man City and he just looked like a little kid lost. And the other games, he's just not playing it. I mean, people go on about Kim Kallstrom when we signed him on loan when he had a broken back, or not a broken back. He had a back injury, and Wenger just took him. At least he actually played some games. It's just been a disaster, but no relevance to FPL. But I just get that off my chest, and yeah. So.
Mick Lee in chat asks a question: what does Dan think of his manager, Unai Emery at Arsenal? Is it got to the point where the fans are questioning Emery, or are they more aimed towards the owners and the players at the moment?
I think, if we don't win this Europa League, we might look for a new manager next season, because it's just I think the problem I've got is that against Crystal Palace, that was a game where they rested players, they underestimated Palace. and then got taught a lesson. But no, I mean, I think Emery's done. Jokes aside, I think Emery's done well, but he's not had much money to work with. And our scout left in January. That was not a good sign. He was the one that got in Torreira, got in Socrates, Guendouzi, and Leno. He left because he wasn't happy in January. So the fact that our scout left is not good.
I think it'd be a big mistake. I think it'd be a big mistake getting rid of Emery. I don't think you can upgrade. I don't think you can upgrade on manager.
I think. No, I'm saying that kind of tongue in cheek a little bit because I know Arsenal fans, we are quite reactive. But no, I think Emery's done well. Give him time. He's taken over a legacy of Wenger's that it definitely did go on too long. I'm just so gutted that Ramsey's leaving.
They need to start
so much in these last few weeks.
They need to sign, like I said earlier this season, they need to sign a quality centre back, and they need to really figure out their midfield really and work out what their best midfield is, because I think a lot of the games that Arsenal lose is because they don't keep possession in midfield, and the defence is so weak. And Leno can't keep out. It's the same. You could argue it's a similar sort of thing at United. When Pogba doesn't play, United don't keep the ball in the middle, and we lose it, and then bloody our defence decides to score own goals and let the ball go through, and De Gea decides to scoop it into his own net. So it's Arsenal. Anyway,
got a lot of debt. I'll just finish this off. Got a lot of dead weight to get rid of. Get rid of Jenkinson. Get rid of El Nene. Get rid of Xhaka. Get rid of Mustafi. Get rid of Mkhitaryan. Get rid of all these dross players. And just get some quality signings in. But it's not Arsenal fan TV, so I'll stop now.
Yeah. We'll get sued. We'll get sued by what's his face? What's the guy on Arsenal fan TV? Robbie. That's it, Robbie. Don't think he's watching. Don't worry. Manchester City at the Etihad versus the counter-attacking Leicester City. Goals galore. Could it be goals galore?
Oh, it all depends on that Liverpool game, doesn't it? And I'm really hoping that Liverpool win something like, 4-0 against Newcastle. And then Man City are like, Christ, we're going to have to really go for this. And I think this is going to be, I'm thinking 3-1 or 3-0. Because Man City just don't seem to concede, I'm going to go 3-0 to City. This is just more of a question for me of, triple captain usage. We'll get into our teams in a minute, but in the last 4 fixtures, 3 of them have been at home at Leicester, and Leicester have drawn 2 and won 1. The last time these played at the Etihad, though, Man City won 5-1, and Aguero got 4 goals.
Oh.
And I'm just like, when you see it written in the stars, triple captain Aguero, and how ironic it would be, Jason, that I triple captain Aguero this time round, he gets me 4 goals, and that time when he got you 3 goals, when you triple, you get the idea. But I'm going to go 3-0, Dan, to City.
Yeah, I think, obviously Leicester's in good form at the moment, but City have got it all to play for. They'll know the Liverpool result. They've got to go for it. They've got to bounce back from the Champions League disappointment a few weeks ago. So, Sterling and Aguero, good captaincy contenders in this particular game week. Man City, they could basically win the league. So I'm going to go 3-1 to Man City. I think Leicester will get a goal, but 3-1.
Interesting. Well, they've got a few comments in chat. Leicester will score definitely, says Adam Humphreys. FPL Boona made a couple of comments about Aguero being his captain choice. And also that Steve-O should be as a motivational coach for Arsenal, telling them about their history against the teams that they're playing. Last time we played these boys, you spanked them 3-0. Same again, boys. So yeah, I think there's goals in this game for both teams, definitely. I think, like I said, Leicester benefit with teams that will play with a high defensive line. I think Man City will be tails up trying to get an early goal. I think it could be, both both sides. The repeat of the Tottenham game where there was goals galore in the first half. I can really see it. I really can, and I think Aguero's up there with my captaincy picks anyway, regardless of who you decide what to use your captaincy chip, triple captaincy, whatever. Aguero and Sterling are up there with the Liverpool assets, and it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise me if both do well, Sterling and Aguero in this game. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with 4-2 to City.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit of a game. I think first half goals both sides, and then second half City will get a couple of goals.
Well, it ended 2-1 last time out, and the history is going 2-1 to City as well. So it's not really suggesting, despite the 5-1, that was just an anomaly. Most of them have been quite tight games, which kind of links us beautifully into what we're going to be doing with our teams. And anybody in chat, or to everybody in chat, if you want to let us know your captains are, what you're thinking of doing with transfers, if you have any questions for the three of us, by all means. Dan mentioned we had a couple of questions from a couple of regular contributors to this podcast, and we'll start with our guest that we had on last week, which was Block FPL. He moved up to 10th overall ranking. He asked us a very simple question, really, which is, who will get more points over the next 2 game weeks between Milivojevic, Pogba, and Shaw? So, Jason, do you want to take that?
Sure.
Start with?
Sure.
Are you saying Shaw is an S-U-R-E or Shaw is an S-A-J? Or I'll take it, or
Luke Shaw.
Think Shaw will?
Luke Shaw.
So Crystal Palace are away at Cardiff, and then they're at home to Bournemouth, whereas United are at home to Cardiff and away at Huddersfield.
So, you know what? I'm going to go against my own transfers that I've already done, and I'm going to say Pogba, just because obviously on penalty duties, 2 great fixtures for United as well. Just what I feel in that Pogba's going to do something, and yeah.
Lama and Bula saying Milivojevic. VAR in chat saying Shaw.
I think I agree. I think Milivojevic, just because of the penalties. I think Cardiff are going to throw in a few reckless tackles in there. You know, the final game of the season. You know, nothing to play for. Neither Crystal Palace or Bournemouth. I think they'll just have some fun. I think Milivojevic.
Okay. I
just think that United are going to concede in both games, just, you know, like these pointless goals, and Pogba, just something about him which just tells me that he just can't be bothered. Just cannot be bothered. So, yeah, I think that I think thingy, but
I don't know what gives you that impression. It must be his body language or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, you mentioned the captaincy dilemma for me, and it really is, like, no matter who I captain, I am most likely going to be using my triple captain this game week.
Okay.
If I'm honest.
All right. Why is that, Steve?
Because the reasoning being is because this is the only game week where I think there's something to play for, whereas the final game week, you've got Liverpool at home to Wolves. This is based on if they're going into the final game week knowing that they need to win, so to speak. And then Man City away at Brighton. I don't know. There's just something deep inside me, like you said, Jason, where I just think that Man City will wrap it up this game week. And I just think they're going to play a second reserve team versus Brighton. Like, I don't know, Jesus and Mahrez and Sane, all them lot playing against Brighton. There's no real captaincy, triple captaincy that stands out for me on game week 38. And this particular game week, it's either going to be Sterling, play it safe, because no matter what, my differential is going to be those extra points of whatever captain I get. I'm stating the obvious, but even if you and I captain the same player, if, for example, Aguero does get me
Yeah.
a hat trick, I'm going to get that extra.
Well,
X amount of
19 points or something, you know.
Yeah, I can't really go major differential on you unless I went with Salah as an example. So yeah, it's more than likely going to be played this game week. And at the moment, my captaincy's on Sterling, just for the simple fact that his home record is sublime.
It'll be interesting purely because when anyone plays a triple captaincy, my eyes, I'm always kind of like, oh, okay, pay attention to that. So yeah, that'd be interesting who to decide to go with, Sterling or Aguero, because at the moment I'm undecided. The more people keep screaming Aguero in chat, the more I kind of, I've got it on him at the moment. I've just put it on him. But yeah, if you do go with Sterling triple captaincy and I go Aguero, then it's going to be really quite a cool weekend because obviously that game's not till Monday, and this goes into the psychological aspect of captaining as well. Like the fact that you would have your triple captaincy at the last game on the Monday as well, where every other team's played. It's that nice feeling knowing that you've got those extra points coming in. Obviously, we've got the same assets: Laporte, Sterling, Aguero. So yeah, those extra points coming in, depending on who you choose, of course. Yeah, go for it, man. I wouldn't say it's a bad choice. I think hindsight's a great thing. You could have gone with Liverpool last week, but yeah, I do.
The thing, Jason, at the end of the day,
it's over now, isn't it? You know.
Even if I went Salah captain, I would have caught you by 19 points. That's a fact. No matter what I do, I'm not going to catch you. It's going to, unless I was to captain someone like, let's just say if I brought in a transfer of, I don't know, Jota as an example, and I captained him and he got a hat trick, that's when we're talking, wait a minute. And for example, Sterling and Aguero blank.
Yeah.
That's when it's like, oh wow, now we've got something to be potentially.
Yeah, like if Jota got hat tricks, and Salah got a hat trick, and all your differentials did well, and all my players did bad, then of course. But you're talking crazy odds now. I mean, the more there's probably a higher chance of me taking a -80 hit, someone sabotaging my account or something, than that happening. To be fair with you. Yeah, I'm changing my password tonight. But I think that Jack Gleeson's in chat. Hey Jack, how you doing, dude? I'm 44 points behind Jason. I need a differential. He's going to captain Sterling, he says. Okay, well if you captain Sterling, I'm probably going to captain Aguero. So there you go, that's your differential. Hey guys, what have I missed? I guess I'll have to rewatch again later tonight. Hey John, how you doing? Hope work was okay. It would like to get you on a. Sorry.
Reveal who the potential guest was going to be announced, Jason. Let the audience know who it was going to be.
It was going to be John. We were going to try and get John Harris on this evening, but he had to have real life work commitments. So we'll hopefully get him on another time. Probably get some more guests on as well before the end of the season's finished, and just just have the differing opinions, and just look at doing a multi-hosted podcast right at the end of the season with many people as possible, really, just to have a little chat about how people's seasons have gone. And it's been a bit of a strange season, hasn't it, as a whole, really. A lot of the big well-known FPL faces on Twitter and YouTube have kind of had a very mediocre. I'm talking about FPL General, I'm talking about Jay Eggersdorf. I know a few guys in the Mods and Cons League on the Scout have had the greatest of seasons. I think it's been and that's not because of their logic. It's just because of the way that the season's kind of panned out, and there's been a lot of disappointment this season, I think, with a lot of respectable players not performing. Obviously, the underlying stats being really focused on heavily. I think there's a lot to be said about paying too much attention to these stats and kind of judging from those instead of going on form. And but yeah, without going on a tangent, my team's on the screen now. You can see, for those of you watching, you can see that I've got in my team Cathcart, who's currently yellow flagged, and Lacazette, who's at home to Bournemouth. Brighton. What am I saying, Bournemouth? Brighton. So my transfers, like I've said most of the week now, is going to probably involve Lacazette out, Rashford in, Robertson in for Liverpool. So doubling up on that awesome Robertson-Alexander-Arnold pair and getting rid of Cathcart. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer, really. If Rashford is confirmed fit, then I will be instantly doing it.
He was pictured in training.
He was pictured. Wow. He was, but I've got to be really careful with. I've got to be really careful with price rises because I've only got the exact funds to do Lacazette to Rashford, Cathcart to Robertson, and I know that there will be lots of people thinking of bringing Rashford in, so I need to be really careful about missing that opportunity. So I will be keeping an eye on FPL statistics. And Final Fantasy Fix I use as well to try and see if I can gauge whether or not they're going to go up. I haven't looked today, so I don't know where we are today in terms of price rises, but if I have to make the transfer, I probably will do it.
Going on your team, so regular.
I keep saying Final Fantasy Scout, Fantasy Football Scout, Final Fantasy Scout, everybody. Yeah.
Legendary game.
Yeah, get on my chocobo and start bringing in some players.
So a regular contributor, Cy Bellamy, asked how I'm going to try and catch you, Jason. And I'm just looking at your team, like you state, and ironically, I have got differentials on you, but they're just rubbish differentials, like Lucas Moura, just rubbish. Who else is here? Alexander-Arnold will probably play against Newcastle now. I'm not suggesting he's rubbish, but it's our teams are virtually exactly the same. The only way I can catch you is if I was to bring in, looking at it here, Jota for Son as an example, or
wow.
Looking at it here, Son has done really well versus Bournemouth, but lately he's been terrible form-wise, so I think...
But it's not just about me, it's about your overall rank. I mean, you're 16,667. Surely you want to try and push into that top 10k. Regardless of where the mini... I mean, you said yourself, you consider the mini-league to be pretty much done and dusted now. So I would be focusing on your overall rank. That would be my... If I was second place, I would be happy. Because you're 16,000 in the world. That's a bloody good position to be in. It's just I've had a really good season. You've had a really good season, and like you've been saying, I think you trying to focus on differentials is one thing, but then don't try to chop and change too much when you've got your overall rank to consider as well, and especially when you look at effective ownership of players in the top 10,000.
Yeah, Jota ironically is owned heavily by the top 10,000. I think it's like 45% in the top 10,000. So it'd be a bit of a wasted transfer for me to try and get in there. But again, as the Scoutcast said last night, for every point that Jota gets, you fall down in rank because, like you said, of the effective ownership. So I'm
yeah.
I don't know really,
but then you are triple captaining, so I would expect you will go with Aguero or Sterling, and I would be very surprised if neither of them haul a decent amount this week. So, I mean, the fact you're using your triple captain should in itself propel you into that top.
Not definite.
Not definite, but I mean, if you get it right, you should be really comfortably in the top 10k.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd love to know if you can do it in the next 5 minutes when we go to Dan. If you could find out maybe, or if anybody in chat could find out how many points I'm actually off, rank 9,000 as a prime example, 10,000. That would be really interesting to hear. But Dan, you mentioned that, coming on to you mentioned that you've already done 2 transfers. Remind us who they are and who you're planning to captain. You also said something off air which kind of certainly took me aback, and you've mentioned it before about basically giving up, and your differential transfer last week, Babel, paid off beautifully, although ironically you dropped down. So yeah, do you want to just talk about your team, mate?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, last week I played my triple captain chip on Sadio Mane against Huddersfield. That paid off really well, so the game week started really well. But it's just been the way, saving the chips so long, and it's not really paid off. That's kind of sums my season up, really. Particularly in the previous double game week, I needed Sterling and Aguero to do a lot more. I think Aguero got an assist, Sterling got an assist over 2 games, because they were kind of a differential for me in comparison to the mini league rivals ahead of me. Like 4 out of the 5 teams didn't have Sterling, so it didn't really pay off. So yeah, I've kind of, like last game week, Babel paid off really well. Mane paid off really well as well. But then, Del Bellamy did his bench boost and stormed ahead. Yes, yeah, he did. So he went ahead of me. And Ben Towler as well, just doing really well higher up the league. So it's just been one of them. Whatever I've done over the last few game weeks, I've done okay with my scores. But teams...
Sorry, let's just to interject, what an incredible bench boost Dale played. So, Jason, if you want to bring up Dale's team, by all means. But if you remember the week before, so basically, for anybody listening on audio, Dale played his bench boost this week, or last week, sorry, and he finally got the Liverpool points. So, Alisson,
wow, yeah,
Robertson, Alexander-Arnold, and Ward-Prowse, the player that you had. And the week before, he was really unlucky because even though his defence did really well, and we kind of laughed at the fact that he didn't play his bench boost this week, and he did it all reverse, like. And his bench had loads of points as well. Alisson, Robertson, and Alexander-Arnold, and the same players did exactly the same thing. That's quite a differential strategy there, Dan. I think going on what you're saying,
obviously I did the bench boost the week before, and it didn't really pay off, and Dale waited, and that's kind of countered me doing the triple captainship on Mane. So yeah, I wouldn't say, pretty much season's pretty much over. So I decided before the podcast, and I was just looking at my team. I was looking at a well-known FPL website, just having a little tinker around, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to do 2 transfers now. Why not? So one of them was Hazard. I won't reveal the other one because it is a differential midfielder who's in form. So here's another. So I've gone for quite a top-heavy midfield. I'm going to go 3-5-2.
Let's just say, you say you've given up, but then you're not willing to reveal a transfer despite not actually caring. Surely,
the only reason, let me fucking finish. Like, the only reason I'm not going to reveal it is because I know Del Bellamy's watching, and all I've got to play for is finishing above Del Bellamy, because I've been above him all season, and now he's just done his little bench boost. He's got ahead, and he's going to be there, giving it to me all summer that he finished above me. So I can't let those Bellamy brothers, I've had to fight with these Roos brothers all season. I can't let these Bellamy brothers get the better of me. So, I've just kind of gone with 2 transfers this game week. And in terms of captaincy, either Sterling or Hazard, I'm thinking. Hazard is a bit of a differential captain. But the thing with Hazard, I've always got this thing in my head about Hazard, is that, like, when I've not had him, he's done really well, i.e. a hat-trick against Cardiff earlier in the season. When I've had him, he's just like under-delivered. But I'm just hoping that, well, in an ideal world, he'll get 2 goals or something on Sunday, and then Chelsea would draw or lose or something. But feeling pretty bit similar to, maybe a bit similar to Fulham or Huddersfield. I'm not on the beach as such, but made a few transfers, gone with my gut instinct. Probably have a really good game week, to be fair.
Okay.
So, what are the thoughts in chat, Jason, before we wrap up?
John Harris is in chat saying no one transferred Hazard in. Then that's the tip. There we go, because Dan's done it. That's funny. We got FPL Boona saying that you're 25 behind. Steve-O, you're 25 behind 9.2k. You're 21 points behind 10 points.
That could be, as Boona just said. Then really, if the triple captain.
Yeah. Well, I said that. Yeah.
Triple captain paid off, then that 25 points could potentially be made up. But it really depends on if that particular player did do well. Take Salah.
I am keeping double Spurs as well, Boona. You'll be surprised and happy to know that I'm actually gonna, kind of back your team to actually have a bit of fight in the last few games of the season and score big. So, and Mora, he owes me. Mora owes me big time. Just as much as Lacazette, even though I'm getting rid of him.
I was looking at Mora actually, Jason, and it just seems that he's just one of these players that gets a double haul and then he just blanks for weeks and weeks and weeks, gets a goal, blanks for weeks and weeks, gets a double haul, which is when you got him, and then he just blanks again. So I just think Moore is an absolute waste of space.
Just a troll.
To be honest.
I've got your team up. I've got your team up now. Gunn in goal. Valerie Cathcart. Cathcart as well. You got him. Are you looking at shipping out Cathcart? No.
Yeah, I'm going with. I mean, Booner. If you've got spare 6 seconds to type this up, but my understanding is that Trippier will be benched and Walker Peters may actually come in. I'm seriously thinking of maybe getting him in. And if Dan will like this, in their 5-0 victory, Walker Peters got 3 assists in that game, a hat-trick of assists.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe the omens are there for Cathcart out and Walker Peters in as a bit of a differential.
Booner's saying in chat, I know it's not answering your question about Trippier, but he will do in a minute. But he's saying that Bora's been shit and that he wouldn't bother keeping him. So maybe I could do Mora out, Jota in.
Yeah.
And
Mora
then
Mora was quiet.
And then probably have the funds to do Cathcart to. How much is Jota? Is that
6.7 or 6.8.
I'm gonna have to see how much I've got. I don't think I'm gonna have enough money.
0.3, isn't it? Well, obviously his price would
no, I haven't got. I wouldn't have the money to do that. God, Jota's gone up in price, isn't he?
Oh no, you are right, Dan. 6.3. Sorry, 6.3. My apologies.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do. I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do the Robertson move. But I could certainly go Jota in for Mora, and that would leave me 0.7. See, that's not enough. I'd have 5.2 to bring in a defender. Luke Shaw. I could bring Luke Shaw in for Cathcart. Right, so sorry to interrupt your speech, but guys in chat, right? How much is Van Dijk? 6 points. No, it's way too much. So guys in chat, who would you rather me transfer in if you were
A or B, 1 or 2.
A or B, 1 or 2. Shaw and Jota, or Rashford and Robertson. Shaw, Jota, or Rashford, Robertson. For Mora, Cathcart, or Lacazette, Cathcart. That is a tough one, isn't it? Go on, I'll ask you guys. Dan, you first.
Shaw and Jota.
Yeah, I agree. I think that get rid of Mora, absolutely useless.
He'll probably get a hat-trick.
Keep Lacazette and keep Lacazette for another bloody...
I just think, to be honest...
Lacazette will score against Brighton, easily.
Yeah? Alright then.
Yeah, at least
£10. £10.
You're just trying to get your money.
Yeah. Well, mate, I don't think you're confident, mate. I don't think you're confident yet.
It's written in the stars, though, that Tottenham as of late haven't been that great. Excuse the little rhyme there, but it's the truth. They just haven't been that great whatsoever. Their matches after European games have been very low scoring, whether it's been draws or a small little win or even a loss. So I just think that even in my case, I'm seriously thinking of getting rid of Son out and Cathcart out and bringing in God knows who, just differentials, or even Calvert-Lewin out and Son out for Rashford and again Jota or something like that, because I'm within reason. I'm relatively happy with my team. It's just getting rid of players for differentials and just players that have got something to play for. And maybe I'm just going mad by suggesting getting rid of Son, but he has.
No, definitely. I think, God, do you know what? You both saying Shaw and Jota, and Boona, Gassman, and Harris, John Harris in chat as well saying Shaw and Jota. I mean, you know what? That might end up being a better move. That might end up being a better move. I'm really glad I asked that question, because up until now I never saw that move, and it's a pretty solid. That's a pretty solid move.
What's annoying me at the moment is I'm just going back.
But
I'm just thinking
sorry, I just want to say, but there is a but. There is, Jota does, like, I think somebody mentioned in chat, John Hatcher says, Jota does play Liverpool in the last game of the season.
Yes.
So, tripling up. Obviously, I won't be playing Bennett in that game, but doubling up on Wolves for the last game against Liverpool. I don't see him getting anything out of that game. I really don't. I think it'll be a tight game. I don't think there'll be many goals, but I just don't see Jota just doing much against Liverpool. So yeah, that's another thing to consider. Thanks for bringing that up. But yeah, sorry, Dan, carry on.
No, all I was going to say is, in my head I was thinking, do your transfers after the podcast, not before. But like a gambler that just puts a bet on and just goes, oh, I'll just put it on. And now I'm thinking, man, I should have got Jota in. Like, I'm going to regret not getting him in, but I bought in somebody else. Obviously, I've got Hazard in, and then I've got a differential midfielder. And I'm like, he's more expensive than Jota, and Jota's in really good form. But they got Liverpool last game. Yeah. Liverpool could still be playing for the league, so you never know.
Yeah, definitely. It's food. It's good food for thought. Actually, it gives me options. Maybe going to be a bit of a headache this transfers actually, because I was pretty set on the Rashford, and to be honest, I think I still am a little bit more attracted to Robertson as an FPL asset than Shaw, and yeah, I think Lacazette's just really burnt a few bridges with me. So yeah, may still do that move. But anyway, let's move on to what Steve-O was saying before I completely cut him off. Because you
remember what I was saying? I don't even know what I was talking about.
You were talking about your transfer options, I think, and I was just like trying to get.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, really, it's similar to yours in a way, but just less funds. It's either Calvert-Lewin and Son out, or Cathcart and Son out. Again, it's just a toss of a coin, really. I'm really not sure what to do. But going on what Cy Bellamy made the point, how to catch you, and thinking logically about overall rank and everything. I mean, they even had this conversation, the Scoutcast, and something that kind of I related with, which is, and I know Dan kind of feels the same, is that since bringing this to YouTube, I do find that I feel that I feel the pressure of having to do well overall rank rather than worrying about a mini league. I'm still set in the fact that, I want to do well in the mini league, but it's just the simple fact that, hold a minute, as we've already mentioned, you're 100 points clear, I'm 75 points clear a second. I can pretty much do what I like, but make it logical.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to wait till all the press conferences come out and all that malarkey. I'm going to do a bit more research into history and all that malarkey regarding various players. But as it stands, I think I may just keep Son because his history versus Bournemouth, plus what FPL Boona said, is fantastic. So I think it could be the case of getting rid of Cathcart for somebody, but I don't know who. I've got no money in the bank either, so yeah.
Well, I think,
and whether to use the triple captain or not.
Yeah, definitely, and keep an eye on those price rises as well. And but like Steve-O said, the press conferences are always worth waiting for. I think that naturally sums the podcast up. I think we've kind of covered everything, and we're looking forward to a nice game week ahead of us, stretched out over a long weekend, bank holiday weekend. I'm going to be down in Torbay, down Dan's way, actually, Dan's neck of the woods, the weekend, and I'm going to be over in Teignmouth as well. So I don't think, I'll be over in Teignmouth. So I won't be available to do a podcast this weekend. I will be back on Monday, so Monday evening.
Right, Dan's bedroom.
Yeah. So Monday evening I could be free. But yeah, I'll give you guys a shout. We'll let you guys know on Twitter and Instagram anyway what Steve-O decides to do a podcast. He probably will do one, knowing him. Yeah, we'll look forward to talking again, hopefully Monday, about the reaction to the games. Close it out, Dan. Go on then.
Yeah.
All
right.
Do the plugs.
If you've enjoyed what you've seen, of course you've enjoyed what you've seen, subscribe. It really helps us as we're growing our channel. And connect with us on Instagram and Twitter at Elite FPL. We're always posting on there and announcing when our next podcast will be. Obviously, if you're watching on the replay as well, give us some feedback. We always appreciate feedback and would love to hear from you. So yeah, thanks a lot. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy your football this weekend. And yeah, look forward to seeing you next time. But Steve-O's got a final message.
Yes, I do. So we announced who the Elite FPL Mini League Manager of the Month winner was. It was Tim Lee. Tim Lee, if you're watching this now, if you're watching us on a replay, can you please get in contact with us on Twitter or Instagram at Elite FPL, and you can give us your details about how to send the mug to you. We believe that you're in America, but that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Get in contact with us, and we'll be able to get it out as soon as possible. Fantastic. Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Until next time.
To our Elite FPL.
Pun where Shaw's lights were knocked out. Dan, you may want to turn on your light because you're
Chat said that Steve-O, if you bench Alonso and he returns, you have to get a history tattoo.
Well, people in chat saying, Jack, before we move on to the Elite FPL.
First of all, my name isn't Jack. Right, okay, I'm gonna let Dan speak because it seems to be mainly me and. Go, Dan. Go ahead. What are you going to do?
It's absolutely fascinating.
Jason, try and just stop.
Right. Okay. Right. I'm.